What is going on YouTube, and thank you for checking back in with another TDH upload. My name is Travis, and if you haven't already checked out our last two uploads, you may want to do that before watching this one. It'll give you a better idea of what's going on and how I ended up in this position. If you have been following along, you know, unfortunately, my move to Tennessee has come to an abrupt halt, and that is no longer in existence, no longer happening. So I decided, all right, let's go ahead and take a swing at it. I will open my own shop and go from there. So in the last video, my buddy Talon and a good friend of his, Dylan, we loaded up in his 3500, grabbed a U-Haul trailer. We shot up to Tennessee, and we were able to grab my CNC table you guys can see back there, one of my work boxes, and my other work box. My plasma and my my computer is actually in the office back here behind me, and I've got stuff everywhere. The shop looks like a freaking bomb went off, and stuff is just a mess. So I wanted to check in with you guys. The first thing is we have lighting. So I've got some fresh LED lights here, and then I've got one right behind me here. The one that you see right here in the middle, that one's actually one of my little Husky lamps, and that was my temporary lighting on my TIG station, so that way I could still weld and do my jobs while I didn't have decent lighting in here. If you guys do remember, this little light over there, and actually the light's been torn down, but there was a light over here. Those were the only two lights that I had in the shop, and now I've got these three. I think that my landlord's probably going to replace that one because the halogen styles and the ballast are just starting to get, you know, obsolete. LED's the new technology, and as you can see, it's a lot brighter. So I've got those all installed here. That's a freaking awesome addition to the shop. That's all squared away. Now we're going to start installing everything on my CNC table. I'm gonna shut up because I know you guys don't want to hear me talk. Let's go ahead and start ripping the saran wrap off of this thing and figuring out how I'm going to position this, because I don't have much space, and I'm trying to do with what I'm trying to work with what I got, excuse me. So let's dive in. We are most of the way unpacked as far as the CNC table goes. I've got everything laid out here. I've got everything hooked up. I've got to square up the torch still. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing about an air compressor, because this is not going to cut it. I ran it last night doing one cut. And she was able to do it, but it dropped air pressure rather quickly. It went from, you know, around the 80, 90 mark down to damn near 50 psi, and I needed to stay steady around 60, 70, well, probably 65, 75. But yep, this is it, kind of all organized up. I got this V-band that I got to weld on this morning, and then I got to knock off that IAT sensor because this guy accidentally stripped out the threads on his bung there, so I've got to redo that. And then I've got to hop on this guy today, start finishing this thing out. Ignore this little angle bracket that's just there, so that way the frame doesn't freaking fall down on itself. I just wanted to add a little bit of structural integrity while I was cutting out some of the rust. I've got this plate here. It's underneath my cardboard that I've got to finish grinding down, slip that in there, get that tacked up. I'll probably end up making a plate for the inside here. I've soaked it down with Osfo. If you guys don't know, this stuff is the bomb right here. Just grab the actual can, so that way, wherever it is, somewhere over here. So here's the actual bottle. I was showing you guys my damn spray can over there when I have this one. This stuff is awesome. It works freaking wonders. It stops rust, and it also, you know, cleans it up so that way you can go back behind it, sand it down, and prep it so that way you can at least put some sort of primer on it. So this stuff is A1. I've actually, off camera, got this piece in place. So this is a unit that I drew up on my computer in the office over there and got it cut out on the CNC table. These are just my relief lines here for that fold. And I was welding it in, and unfortunately, a section of material right here basically just blew out. You can see where this bracket is inside the frame. That was all rusted, and I believe it was attached somewhere around here. And unfortunately, it just it's seen better days. It completely blew out. So I'm having to draw back a little bit on this guy. I've got the first plate that I showed you in the beginning of the video all burned in, so that's in there. I'm going to go back behind it, clean up some of my areas, and then take a secondary plate and put it on top of both of these sections, so that way it's nice and sealed up in there. I just wanted to have some sort of backing plate, so that way I had something to actually burn into and penetrate to. But that's that so far, guys. It's coming right along. I knocked out that V-band also. I'll show you guys this stuff here. Here's the V-band. Some nice colors in there. I cranked up that argon. I should have filmed me welding it out, but this nice 300 bottle here that I picked up from Robert's Oxygen, I just cranked this sucker up. I'm having damn near like 38 to 40 CFH coming out of that bottle with this Furic Fupa 12. It's a great freaking cup. I love this cup. Don't know if I really need to go anything bigger at the moment. Maybe if I start dabbling in some titanium tube. You guys can see us playing a little bit here on some titanium. Really need to get some sort of argon trough or something so that way it doesn't sugar like that on the backside, but it's just practice. I'd like to start pushing a little bit of titanium tubing and stuff, maybe try to make some for the second gens. But all right, I'm running my mouth. I'm getting carried away. I gotta get back to work. So let's get to buzzing. Done. I've got this side all finished up. This is my patch panel on that section that was rusty. I just went back and cut out more of that rust, found good material to burn into, and then laid this plate over it. So I've actually got this plate coming up behind it, probably about, I don't know, halfway, maybe a quarter of the way on this plate here. So I feel pretty good about that structural integrity there. And then I've got both my cap plates here. It was a little crusty getting into some of these areas right here. You can see right here, it's a little tough there. There's just really not good material to be burning into. If this frame was any worse, I probably would have denied this job, because there's just some sections like back here where this little gusset is, same thing. That was a rough spot there, and where I had cut back on the material when I went to go weld this plate in, it just blew right through. So that whole section needed to be repaired. So that's all done. Ignore my run lines from the paint. That's just some weld through primer there that I picked up, so that way I could at least coat it so that way it doesn't flash rust. But that's all on there. That section is done. I got up with the customer. I've given him my hours on it, and he's approved that I can move forward on repairing this back section here. So he wants this at least cleaned up a little bit, and he's trying to be able to hang the spare tire back up here. But I don't know, man. This is a tough one here. This is all rotten. It's gonna get a little loud. Heads up. I mean, it's just falling apart. I use my chipping hammer laying over there. I use the needle end. I tap into it. And as I'm going along, when I break through the material, I know that it's just trash. I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to cut along this section and try to reshape this rather than doing the entire cross member, because that's just gonna be out of his budget. And at that point in time, we might as well find a rust-free chassis, might as well cut that section out and then weld it into this section. So I'm trying to stay within his budget and, you know, give him a complete job, but that's where we're at right now. Well, I do believe that's about it for today's video. You guys get the point with that rusty frame. I've got that all patched up there on that midsection. I'm gonna move to the rear. I probably won't give you guys much of an update on that. I might pop in and show you like halfway through and then the finished product, but I just wanna be careful with what I'm posting with my customers' vehicles and stuff. I just, you know, I wanna be careful and cover myself, and maybe when I get to a point where I feel comfortable uploading or just letting my customers know, hey, I have a YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. I'm going to be putting some of my repair work and what I'm doing to your vehicle on my YouTube channel. But I'm just covering, you know, my tail for right now. That's really it. I'm sitting on the couch chilling in the office here. I went and grabbed me some dinner. I've got that weld through primer drying up right there. It's a little tacky. I don't want to be grinding and cutting and getting dust all in that paint and stuff. I'm gonna let that sit up, and other than that, guys, I'm about done. So I do appreciate you guys watching. I will see you guys in the next upload. Y'all take it easy. Have a good week. Later.